There we are. We are live. It's a minute early, but we're anxious, so we're going live. Hey, Margie. Miss Jingamafreak. I love that name. It's the best email ever. Jingamafreak.
Right.
How you doing, Margie? So glad you're awake. Glad you're adjusting your sleep schedule for us. We miss you when you're not here. Who else is here? 3 people. Might be you and me and Margie.
Yep.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, well, we'll have fun.
Yeah, we will. It's totally okay. How you doing, Margie? How's your Monday going? Hopefully you had a good weekend. We got cold again. We went back up into the 60s, and then all of a sudden we got cold again. We got the tiniest bit of snow, but yeah, I can't believe we are in January and we have no snow on the ground. That's the weirdest.
Us too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm totally okay if the mountains get it all, just so we have all the water that we need in the spring.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be hurting. Hi, Sylvia.
Yeah, and not get it down here, but I have a feeling we're going to be hurting. Hey, Sylvia. Get my TV, YouTube up there, and I just hit my camera, so it's bobbing. Sorry about that.
Oh.
I know. I forgot to turn that brightness back up, so I'm kind of in the shadow. It's easier for me to see when it's down, and so when I'm just working here, I turn it down. But
Oh, there you go. Maybe too much. That's good.
Oh, is it too much?
No, I think it's all right.
I can take that down just a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Hey, Melanie. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Sylvia's awake. Yay. Here for now. Not sure how long it'll last. Oh, so sorry, Melanie. There's a lot of stuff going around. Well, I hope you can make it. I hope you feel up to hanging out, doing some stuff with us, trying this out. Hey, Glynis. Okay, so if you're gonna play along today, and I hope you do, and if you don't do it right now, I really hope you'll do it later and post it in the group. What you'll need is a piece of paper. 8.5 by 11 works great. I am using a sketchbook. I'm going to dedicate this sketchbook to collage, and it's an 8 by 10 sketchbook. That works. So if you want to do it in an art journal, anything like that, you could do it on a piece of paper and you glue it into an art journal. That works as well. But you want a 2-inch square template. Just everyone is number 1 today. That's right. A 2-inch square template. And while we're talking, you can go ahead and start putting that on your paper. You want 12 squares. So as you can see here, I set it down and all I did was mark the corners. You don't have to mark all the way around because I'm going to collage in these. So I just marked the corners. Carrie drew all the way around hers. I did it the first time like that, and then I thought, I just need the corners so I know where to put it.
Right.
So get yourself some 2-inch squares, 12 of those, and you can start doing that while we're talking a little bit. There'll be a video after the live. Hi, Lori. This live video is always available on replay. So when you go into YouTube and you go to the channel, you see it. You can click on video, and it's got all the videos. If you want to get the replay of a live in video form that you can fast forward or speed up, whatever, you'd need to click on the live button. Those are all the replays of the live events, and they're just like videos now, but they're listed under live, not under video. So if you're not aware of that, please be aware of that because it makes a huge difference on being able to find so many things. So speaking of videos, there was a new video that dropped last night at midnight, a short video on a technique of how to create collage papers. That is a new series I've just started. That is the first one in the series, hoping to get a bunch of those out. It's going to be a large playlist because there's lots of different techniques. So they're just going to be short and sweet. Here's one technique that you can use, a way to make and or alter collage papers, because we're going to do a lot of cool things with collage this year that we haven't done in the past. So if you haven't checked that out, do, and then be sure to keep an eye out for that playlist, because those, for the most part, won't be lives. They're just going to be short videos that I add to that. So, excuse me. Next on the agenda, thanks for getting us started there, Glynis and Margie. We do have a prize pack for today. ready to go out. The prize pack, I got to write these down so I make sure that I keep good track. At the end of every live, we draw and give away a prize pack. And you get in the drawing for the prize pack simply by participating, supporting the channel with a super chat. I feel like number 2 today. Body tired, clean under my desk. Wow, found your binder rings. A super chat, supporting the channel with a super chat, and you get in the drawing at the end of the live for that. The only thing that you pay is the shipping, $11.20 for the flat rate envelope. It has got tons and tons of stuff shipped right out for you. Thank you, Carrie. We're jumping in on that. They are fun. They are fun packs. You might get things we've made on lives. You might get things I've gotten from estate sales. You might get supplies that came from the shop. All kinds of stuff. Huge variety of things in there. Never the same. It sounds like everybody did a lot of 12 2-inch square. You only need one template so that you can draw 12 2-inch squares on your paper. So my paper here might be kind of hard to see because it's light, but I have 12 little 2-inch squares on here. That's what we'll work in. Winner Carrie. You can't win if you don't play. It's like the lottery, and Carrie is very, very supportive of the channel, and so she wins. So, oh, look at this. These are all 2 inches on this.
Oh, cool.
I didn't even notice that. Kind of sort of 2 1/8 maybe. But sounds like everybody had big weekends, and there's a lot of people not feeling great today. So, but not yet. We haven't done the drawing. We're not going to do the drawing until the end when we're all done. So everybody has a chance to get into the drawing for the prize pack. Also, if you have not yet had an opportunity to join the YouTube membership, tomorrow, Tuesday, January 13th, is our first workshop of the year of 2026. I am really excited about this. The things that we do in those workshops are, for the most part, going to be things that we are not doing on lives. They will not be repeats of Monday Jumpstart. They will not be things that we'll turn around and do in Monday Jumpstart. I want them to be special. I want them to be different. I want them to be something exclusive for membership. So there is a link in the description box. If you haven't yet had the opportunity to join, you can click on that after we're done. Go in there, join. Well, you can do it during, doesn't matter to me. Do it whenever you want. But join us, because tomorrow we're having our first workshop, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. There is a video in there. If you're already a member, make sure that you've watched that video where I go over the things that you're going to need for tomorrow's workshop so that you can be prepared. And yes, Sylvia, you need black, white, and brown. That's all. No additional colors, just black, white, and brown. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So today, she hasn't won yet. Oh, usually it's automatic. Yeah, just put Carrie's name in the drawing and she wins. She hasn't won yet. We haven't had the drawing yet. So let's talk for just a minute about collage, and then we'll get into what we're doing. So as long as I've been doing this kind of junk journal-y, journey that I've been on for the last 6 years since we started Happy Paper People, what I've seen in collage is a lot of what we use in the junk journal world. And that is, slapping stuff down, usually not having a whole lot of, care about exactly what is where or what we're putting down, just getting it down because we cut it up. We use it for tags and for, various other things. But there are a lot of other forms and aspects of collage. There is a whole world of collage as an art, that the collage is the art piece. And I know we've all seen some and we love some. I've been spending some time watching and listening and trying to educate myself a little bit more on the art of collage. And there's a bunch of collage artists that I have watched. I really like Catherine Rains. I've seen a little bit of Rebecca Chapman, Bob Blass, Sean Petit, love what she does. Sherry at Heart Soul. Heart Soul, what is it? Something heart. That'll come back to me. Love what she does as well. Mark Paper Scissor. There's a lot of collage artists out there, and they all have a little bit different approach, but they all do collage in a very cool art form. And really, I mean, y'all know collage is just the act of combining different things into one piece, right? So when you combine paper into one piece, it's a paper collage. We see photo montages all the time. I would bet that almost every one of you has done a photo montage. You know, that's a collage. It's a photo collage. We do mixed media collages where we mix a bunch of different things. We do digital collages, assemblage, where you're collaging 3D objects. And so this is kind of analog collage. It's not a digital, and it's you know, it's flat, it's paper. We are just working with paper, but I'm learning a lot about the art of collage, or collage as an art form itself, not just backgrounds. And I really like it. And so I want to share some of those things that I'm learning, because there are things that can be used not only in your journals, your art journals, your junk journals, but if you like doing, I really like the concept of the art journal, and I've got a dozen of them going, and I kind of do all different things in all of them. And I like the variety. I like being able to do all the different things. So one of the things that have really learned a lot from these collage artists is that as creative people, we often overthink things. I'm very guilty of that. We have too many options and we create chaos for ourselves. So when I sit down to do something, I'll go pull all the things that I might want to choose from. Like when I gel print, I'll pull 100 different paints and set them out here, because what if I want to use that color paint? You know, I don't know what I want to use. And then I sit down to do it, and I've got so many options that I don't know where to start. And maybe that's just me. But
no, that's me too.
What I'm finding is that collage artists, and probably other artists too, but I'm really looking at just this form at this point, they tend to give themselves guidelines or rules, call them what you want, to start. That doesn't mean that they have to stick to anything, because they're creative people and we know we go where it takes us. But they give themselves guidelines or rules to start, and that is just to help them get started. And then as you're going, then you divert when you feel the need, when you feel the creative curiosity coming. You go outside the box when something, you know, attracts you, draws your attention, or you think, what if? What if is a really great question with curiosity. And as we know, our theme this year, the year of curious play. So no rules, no expectations, curiosity in all things art. However, no rules doesn't mean that we can't start with guidelines in order to start, you know, just be able to start and have a direction to go in. So what I want to share with you today is an exercise that I got from Catherine Rains. Some of you may have seen her do it. And I have found really great value in this exercise. And there's several steps to it. We'll do the first step today. And then if you like it, we'll do the other steps on other days, because I'm going to do them because I really like them. So this is, that HPP sign needs color. Yeah. Yes, Catherine and Sean, some of my favorites. Absolutely. This is a page of 12 2-inch squares, like you're just drawing right now. And each one of these is a collage. And combined, they are a larger collage. So this exercise that Catherine has taught me is to look at each one of these 2-inch squares as an individual collage using 2 pieces of paper. So 2-inch square, 2 pieces of paper. And I ask you to, I pulled out a black and white pad, and I also pulled out this other one. This is I really love it. It's beautiful, but it's not a color palette that I typically go to. I don't know why, because it's nice and rusty, and I love rust. I really love these colors, but I haven't used it. So I pulled that out. So what I have done is take 1 page out of each pattern, and I just cut a 2-inch strip just to get started. And I've only done this to get started because I'm having problems with my shoulder and I'm really, really slow. So you can start doing that now and you'll be just fine. You can cut, you can tear, it doesn't matter. That is your choice. So I just cut a 2-inch strip off of each type of each pattern of paper in that paper pack. And then I have divided them into light value, medium value, and dark value. And that's, I know, brown. It's brown, but it's brown, it's blue, there's maroon in there. It's really very pretty color palette. I just haven't used it, even though I really like it. So I'm gonna use this. It'll be a little bit out of my norm, and that's good to challenge ourselves a little bit. So as we go to put these down, I cut them into 2-inch strips because I know I'm not going to need anything bigger than 2 inches on any. Might just need a little tiny bit. And I'm looking for 2 pieces of paper to make each square. I want either a dark value, a dark value and a light value, or a dark value and a medium value, or a medium value and a light value. So I've got the 3 values. I want 2 of different values. I don't want 2 darks, 2 lights, 2 mediums. Okay, and this starts to train your brain to see how things look together, and your brain will start to see what you like, which may be different than what somebody else likes. So I put this in a dark value, but when I look at it, there's parts of it that I think are a light or a medium value. So, you can cut off any little section, do anything you want. Let me show you a few more. That's a purple palette. I don't know if it shows up purple. It probably shows up blue. Oh man, it doesn't even show anything like it. That is really weird. This is showing as totally blue on my YouTube, and this one as well. These are dark purple, like a midnight sky purple. That's very strange. That probably wasn't a good color palette to choose because of that purple. I don't know why purple doesn't translate to the camera. This is another purple palette, but they're different shades of purple, different types of purple. All right, let's go to a black and white. A lot of you have this black and white handmade paper. You can still have a dark, medium, and light values because of the silvers, because of the mottled. So we can still have those contrasts. Hey, Becky, welcome. So good to see you. Here's some of that handmade paper in the blue. And again, the dark, medium, and light values in the blue. So you'll notice that all along, so as I did this with Catherine, she said use 2 pieces of paper in your 2-inch square to make the collage. And what I saw her do was rectangles, squares, strips, whatever. So that's what I did. And by the time I got to this blue one, I saw this little thing in the corner, and I thought, it'd be cool to get that, not to cut that off that way. It'd be cool to get this whole little thing in there. So why not make it a triangle? Why does it need to be a strip? And this just happened to be a little leftover piece that was cut, so there's a square. And so I experimented with some triangles, and I like them. Now, none of them are exactly half. Typically, your eye, there's just a little corner because I wanted to see that whole pattern. They're just shy of half, or they're just over half. I mean, guess which side you're looking at. One of them's going to be shy, one of them's going to be over. But there's a lot of cool texture on there. Some of them have gold embossing. Some of them have silver, glitter embossed, different things. So this is where, say, she starts with the guideline of 2 pieces of paper, 2 strips, 2 squares. See, my brain doesn't like this because it's half. These are half. And the more I looked at it, the more my brain doesn't. I would want to cut that down and make that less than half. It's too even. But that's part of what I learned in doing this exercise. When I got to this page, that's when my brain started to say, what if I did a rectangle? Now what if I do a circle? So that's the whole point of starting with a guideline and then allowing your brain to go, what if, and take off with something else. Some are blue to make a cute folio. Aw, cool. So what we're going to do today is just take whatever paper you chose, and I'm going to use this. This is scrapbook paper. It's it's cardstocky. Doesn't matter. And you can mix patterns. You can use gel prints. You can use you know, scrapbook paper, cardstock, it really doesn't matter. Any paper works. And part of the, I'm going to move the black and white one over. Part of doing that series of different ways to create collage paper is so that we will have lots and lots of variety of paper to use for different types of collage art, because there's a lot of different types of collage art. All right, so what I'm going to do is just pick something. What I've seen most of the artists, because, you know, again, I'll look at this and there's so many, overload. I don't even know where to start. Most of them say I go through the paper and I find a piece of paper that I just really, really love. Find something I really, really love, and that's what I start with. And that makes it easy. Once you get started, it's easy. So I really love this one with the books on it. And I cut the strip with the books, but then I also cut a little strip of books the other direction in case I wanted to use it that way. So that one I did cut two of. So I'm going to bring Carrie back on the screen so that you'll be able to watch her along the way as well. And she's got a completely different color palette from me, which is always fun. And basically, I'm just going to use these little squares to mark. I'm going to cut this in a 2-inch square. You can make two little pieces side by side, or you can start with one piece that is 2 inches and set it down and then just put the others on top of it. Doesn't matter. That to me gives me a start. But as I start cutting paper, this is all brand new paper. As I start cutting and I get little bits of offcuts, then I'll just take the little offcut and set it there. And then what else am I going to put with it? So let me try to keep these in light, medium, and dark order. All right, so I've got a dark value, and now I want a light or a medium with it. So you're basically just going to, if I see another one that I really like, maybe I'll put that down somewhere else because I want that to be. So this is a fun one. It's polka dots. Polka dots would go well with those books. I like the polka dots. And you know, just do it. Just pick something you like and just put it down. And I don't glue them down yet. This is something I learned after doing the first one, is I didn't glue them down, or after the first one, I started not gluing them down because I might go along and do this, and then I might get to a different point and I have different polka dots and I put those up there and I really like them better. Or I start doing, I'm just going to move that over there to be out of my way. I start doing these, and then when I'm all done, I start rearranging the squares and say, well, this has a lot of dark value. I don't want it to be right next to another dark value, and all the light is over here. So I swap those two and just start moving them around. And if you haven't glued them down, that is easy to do. I really like this one of the wood. You don't have to be quiet now. Use some of my blue to make a cute folio. Do you have enough blue left? Blue shades, tones? And it doesn't have to be only blue. All you need is coordinating colors to do this. So, well, that would be cool with stripes too, or with polka dots, the dots and the, I might like that better with polka dots than the books. All they have to be is papers that coordinate together. They don't have to be all the same. I think I'm going to do that. I like that better. I'm going to save that polka dot for something else. So something that it's made me think of as I think about making papers like gel printing is do something that's a medium value and a light value. Thinking about when I'm gel printing, picking like all warm colors or all cool colors, and then doing a whole series or session on those colors so that I have a whole bunch of papers that coordinate. They would all go together. doesn't matter which ones of those I choose, they're going to go together because they were all of the same basic colors, even if they were, mixed and matched differently. What I think I might even do here is just cut 1 2-inch square of everything and just start playing with it. And then as I hold them up to each other, then I can choose to cut them down, even smaller using gel prints and solid scrapbook. Awesome. That works. So here is another thing that I have learned from Miss Catherine Rains that I am finding very valuable, especially, I will say, my untrained eye, because I don't have art education per se. My journey has been self-taught or self-search. I've learned plenty from other people. It's just not been in a classroom setting where I am searching out and watching and listening and learning and that kind of thing. So it's my own searching journey. But one thing that I learned from her that has made a huge difference is sorting my papers, especially my collage papers. So I kind of mostly think about painted papers and gel prints. I haven't necessarily done this with scrapbook paper, and I don't know if I will, but I'm sorting my collage papers into values. So I actually have now 6 magazine holders on a shelf, and that is where I will store painted papers, gel prints, all the things like that I will use for collage. And they're divided like this. First, I divide them into warms and cools. So anything that's reds, oranges, yellows, that goes on one pile. Anything that's blues, greens, pinks, purples, those cools, that goes in the other pile. And then each one of those is divided into 3 piles. And once I started doing it, boy, it made things so much easier and so much faster. So I've got those 2, but I said I have 6. So I'll take the warms and then I divide those into light, medium, and dark value. And then I take the cools and divide those into light, medium, and dark value. So now on the shelf in those 6 magazine holders, I have warms, light, medium, and dark values, and cools, light, medium, and dark value. So makes it real easy when I'm looking for something, for collage. Or if I want to collage and today I feel like using cool colors, I can just grab those 3 magazine racks and I know they're going to all be cool colors and they're divided into light, medium, and dark values. So if I start with something dark, then I can go over and look for something light. I'm not having to go through 500 different papers to find, something that is complementary. That has really helped me out a lot. Hey, Sarah. Welcome, welcome. I assume you're at work, Sarah. Maybe a little lunch break. All right, so I'm just going to give myself first 1 2-inch square of each of these that I can then start moving around, playing with, putting on top of each other. And this paper pack is double-sided paper, printed on both sides. So I cut 2 strips of each one and put it in its appropriate pile, light, medium, or dark. The black and white one I have over here to do one with is only single-sided. So I cut 1 strip of each, put it in light, medium, or dark. So this one actually gave me twice as much to choose from. Let's see, and I got one of those, got one of those, need one of these, need one of these. I was kind of surprised as I divided these. There seems to be a lot of light, a lot more light value than I expected. But it's also cool to have so many different sides because I will be able to use each one less. Let's see here. I don't want to see if I can get that whole little ad. You know, and you can look at a piece of paper and go, I like that little piece right in the middle of that to go with that other one. Do it. Cut it right out of the middle. That's where there are no rules. You don't have to use the edge of the paper just because it's there. And really, again, the guidelines are just to get us started. If you're like me and I tend to overwhelm myself with too many options. First world problems, right? Too many options, too many choices. I don't know where to start. So having a guideline gives me a starting place. And as soon as I'm going, then I can say, well, what if I do this? Or how would I like it if I did that? Yeah. See. I cut 2 of that because they're different wood patterns. There's a helicopter right outside my window. Can you hear it? It's kind of crazy. We're very close to a regional airport. Here, it's coming along really cool.
Yeah, I haven't glued them down yet, but
yeah, I wouldn't either. Let's see. I got one of that. I need the second one, I think, of that. And, you know, in the end, it's the color that pulls them all together. It's not the pattern, not the design. And that's what's cool about gel printing a whole bunch of papers or painting papers. We're going to go into a lot of those techniques in all of the different values, is because, you know, it doesn't matter what you choose to combine. They're all going to go. They're all going to coordinate because you use the same paint on all of them.
Yeah.
Makes a whole lot of sense to me. Being a good student, learning. Got one of those. I've got one of those and those and those. Okay, so I think I have a square of everything. So I'm gonna try to. Oh, I didn't get any brick. How did I not get any brick? It's a cool brick. She's here. Ms. Jinkum Frank. So who is collaging along with us today? I'll bet Glennis is. Glennis is. Not sure about Melanie because she said she's not feeling well. Normally, I'd say I'll bet Melanie is. Lori, are you collaging along with us today? Okay, so now I've got all these different options here. Again, so many, maybe too many options. But I'm just going to pick a few to put down as the base and go from there. And that may even change. I may pick one up and go, nope, I don't want that to be the base. I think I want to just cut a piece off of that. And I'm just going to actually can't decide. So I'm just setting them down. All right, I've already got one of those as a base. Oh, don't have one of those. Also don't have one of those. And maybe everything doesn't get down. Too many choices, so many choices. All right, I like these little, they're like little tiny tires. Very cute. Like that. Yeah, so there's circles in here and there's diamonds. Because after I did those triangles, I started to think, well, how fun would it be to put some circles and have circles throughout, so it kind of carries the theme through. So this one has circles. And the polka dot has circles. Like that with that one. You might choose to tear these instead of cutting them. I'm cutting them for ease today for my shoulder. There's a medium and a light. So Carrie, do you have any thoughts about the whole art collaging, the art of collaging process that you might add?
Well, this here, I kind of wish I would have picked out more papers.
Okay.
To work with, because I'm just working with the the same, which is okay.
Well, and sometimes you have different patterns throughout the paper, so you can take one paper and
right.
4 different things. But if it's the same pattern all the way across it, then you feel like you're using the same over and over. Is it too late to go pull a couple pieces that just are coordinating colors?
I got it. I'm rearranging them so there's not too many of the same ones right next to each other. But yeah,
funny how we can make that work. All right. Let's see. So I'm not necessarily, first thing I'm looking at is color value and then pattern. So like this is a plaid. It might not be so great with these diamonds, on it because they're just too competing. They're also both, I think I had this in the darks, but depending where in the plaid you cut, it could also be pretty much a medium value. And this one is a medium. So it's kind of boring. It's just too much of the same. So if I put a light value by that or a darker value by that, and maybe, let's see here. So the first thing I look at is if I've got a dark value down there, I want a medium or light to go with it. And then I look to see if they're competing patterns or if the patterns work. The patterns might actually work just fine.
Yeah, I just chose pages from one paper pad. So they definitely coordinate with each other.
Okay.
But it would be a different challenge to select, like gel prints or true scraps from the scrap bin.
Yes. And that's why I found it so helpful to start dividing them into light and dark. I'm sorry, warm and cool, and then to light, medium, and dark within that. Because I can just pull the 3, warm containers and have light, medium, and dark of warm. And I know that they're pretty much going to go together because they're all in the warm family. That was very helpful for me to take that approach. And I mean, some people may not need to do that, but, and as you go through, you can see those things, but what it does after watching Catherine, what it really does is prevent me from having to go through all my gel prints every time.
Yeah.
I'm looking for stuff. If I know I want things in the red family or whatever, blues, instead of having to go through all of them, if they're divided into warm and cools, I only have to go through half of them. And then if they're divided into light, medium, and darks, and if I've got some 3 darks in front of me, I know I need some medium and some light values to help that. So again, I only have to go through 2/3 of the 1/2. So
that's
really
the thing. Yeah, that's the thing I find frustrating is going through my scraps or papers or whatever, 15 times just to try to find.
Yeah, and it's such a simple organizational change made such a huge difference for me. So that was one thing that I learned from her that I just really, really appreciated. has, yeah, has made all the difference in the world for me. Okay, so let's see, the light over here. And then as I put these down, I don't glue them, as you know, like Carrie's doing. We're not gluing them yet because I'll put these down and then I can come back here. Now I've done it a few times already. And so I'm kind of, as I'm laying them down, I'm kind of already doing that. But first time I just set them all down. Then I came back and went, oh, you know, both of these bases, they're kind of both dark and I don't want dark and dark. You know, so I just swap these two around and swap those two around and just move them around until I have like dark light, dark light, dark light. And if I'm putting these strips of paper on, I don't want everything in this row, the strip all to be in the same place. So if this one is on the right side, well, then this one is on the bottom. This one is on the right side, but it's a much smaller one than that one. So it kind of looks the opposite because once you glue them down, you can't really tell that one is on top of the other. It looks like there's a thin blue strip next to the wider of that one and a wider one next to the thinner of that one. So I've got the thin side on the right here and the thin side on the left here. So a crocheting peeper. Love that, Margie. I'm glad that you're crocheting a ton right now. That's just really awesome. I kind of like that one with that one. One of my favorite piece of paper that I started with up here, and I still don't have anything on it. So let's see what we can do about that.
Crocheting paper. Yeah.
You know, cute, huh? About this. I hate to cover up books because I really like the books. But also, I'm really just looking at the overall collage. And it's really cool. You look at each one of them as a little piece of art, but then you get them all together and you're like, well, this whole page is a collage. It's a collage of squares. And I'll tell you where this started. Let me grab this. Probably 3 years ago. And then I happened to run into Catherine Rains and saw her do this. Probably 3 years ago, I had these. These were all leftovers from painting paper, gel prints, or alcohol ink. And they were just little bits that were left over that I didn't want to get rid of because I loved them. They were just some of my favorite. And so I took these were probably 1 or 1.5 inch squares. It's just an old book that's an art journal. And I figured I could fit 3 1.5 inch squares there. And so I just glued them on here. And this is a page that I love going to just to look at for inspiration because they're all just pretty favorite pieces of paper. And those are all just scraps that I had left. So I did that probably 3, maybe even 4 years ago and have just looked at it ever since and never thought, with my lack of training, never thought of anything further than that and how that could really develop into helping me with collage. But then, you know, we started doing those book of scraps, and that's a very similar type thing. That's collaging on a page, you know, side by side of favorite scraps. So that's very similar, and I love that. So when I ran into Catherine and saw her doing this, I thought, this is perfect. I did 1.5 inches. These are 2 inch, and then she's got a few more, you know, lessons after that we can get into, and each one just gives you a better feel and a better understanding of not only collaging and color value and how it all goes together, but the cool thing is, for me, the process of doing it is the art. That's the fun, and I really enjoy just that whole process of doing it. Not even, you know, it's not like I'm doing it because I want to end up with this thing and then there's my piece of art. Right. I enjoy the process as much as anything I end up with. So let's see. Let's get some books over there on that one. Yeah, the process is fun.
Well, it's fun, putting them into a pleasing collage all together.
Yeah.
Like you said, not just each one separate, but all together.
And when I pull out my scrap bin to do this, it's like you said, there are so many scraps and every single piece is different. And it is so overwhelming because you're literally searching through 7 different values of paper then for the one thing that will go with what you're looking for. So just dividing my scraps even into warms and cools and then into light, medium, and dark, as opposed to, I found some containers that I had started, sorting scraps previously by color. So I had all reds and oranges in here, and I had yellows in here, and I had greens in here, and I had blues in here, every different color of the rainbow. And I never kept that up. I found these containers, but then obviously I didn't keep that up. I found that just to be too much. And so starting to sort them just into warm and cool, light, medium, and dark, I'm finding to be much more helpful for me, much more workable. Because if I'm looking for something to go with something else, all I have to know is, do I need a light or do I need a dark? And is it a warm or a cool?
Right.
So it's just been really helpful for me. Let's see. I need some things. This is pretty blocky square, so I'd like something pattern to go on it. Maybe. I'm going to think outside the box and just do a little square of little cars right in the middle of the square of flannel pattern. Again, guidelines just get us started so that we aren't frozen with too many options.
Yes,
even the paper trimmer can't cut straight. There we go. Trust the process, they say. Yeah. Yes, the reason is because with Catherine's lessons, I guess I will say, for lack of a better word, this first one is a 2-inch square using 2 pieces of paper, so that you learn the light, medium, and dark. You learn to use 2 of the 3, any 2 of the 3, with 2 pieces of paper in the 2-inch square. And then there's other, and when we'll do more of these if you guys like them. I like them, and I'm learning a lot from them. And I just find the process of making this fun, where we use more. So she has a whole little system, worked out. I think maybe I will swap those 2 out. I'd like to get something darker on that. What dark do I want? That could be a good one.
I just grabbed white cardstock to use as the base, but I'm thinking, a color would look cool too.
Yeah. Then I guess depending on what kind of papers you choose to collage with.
Yeah.
Like when we do the book of scraps, I really like the black. I really like a black base on that.
Yeah, I was thinking.
But depending on your color palette, maybe you might want to use, if you're doing cools, you might want to use a blue or a purple.
Right,
or
the tan, the. Yeah, I almost grabbed a. My brain doesn't work. All I want to say is coffee or tea dye color.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Something that's been aged or vintaged or
like that.
yeah.
What that look like?
See,
That would look cool.
But once you get this one glued down, do a whole nother one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And see what the difference is. Again, that's you start with your guideline, and then you're like, well, what if I use tan behind it, or what if I use craft color, or and then you say, well, I like that better, or I don't like that as much, or whatever. Yeah, I like how it leads me to think differently. It leads me to think outside the box without starting with so much that I'm overwhelmed and don't know what to do. I'm going to try something there. Let's see. I have one triangle down here, so I feel like I want at least one more triangle. So I'm going to do that. Let's see if that works. All right. I think, Sarah, I got that from Catherine Rains on how she sorts the papers, and it's really making a huge difference for me. Warms and cools, and then within each of those, light, medium, and dark value. And what I'm really putting in there is not my scrapbook paper, although maybe I should end up doing that as well. But I'm putting painted papers, collage papers, gel prints, things like that. So, but that has made it easier for me to be able to grab what I want. Oh my goodness, I keep dropping. It's made it so much easier for me instead of having to go through every piece of paper I have, because if you like to gel print, you know that you end up with hundreds of gel prints. Or if you're going through scraps, I'm going to do my scraps the same way, because I have to go through hundreds of scraps to find anything every time. So I just drew corners with my pencil around my little template. I'll put this down, and when it's dry and all done, I'll go back with an eraser and just erase any corners that I can still see. So super easy. All right, so I have to remember when I put this down where I had the second piece that's on top of it, because I'll take it off and then I'll forget. So how I have been doing that, this one's easy because it's right in the middle, but I'll set it over here. As I go to glue this one down, I'll set it over here. And if it's at the top, I'll put it at the top. If it's at the bottom, I'll put it at the bottom, or the right side or the left side. That kind of helps me remember, because I'm talking and I'll pick these up and then I'll forget, oh, did I have that set at the top or bottom? Right or left? You can use a glue stick. You can use any kind of glue you want. Doesn't matter. It all works. If you use a glue stick, you probably, and if you're using scrapbook paper or cardstock, you'll need to saturate it quite well. I have 8 squares set up. I'm going to glue them down, and then I think that's all I have in me. Oh, awesome. Yeah, awesome. Melanie, I'm glad that you even felt up to doing that much. That's very cool.
Hi, Lucy.
I think Sean is over taking care of some little bit of yard work that Doug hired him to do, and Lucy doesn't realize he's in the backyard, and she could go back there and go out her door and go see him, because she heard him at the front, and so she's barking at the front door.
Oh, silly dog.
Yeah. She can't go out front by herself. Oh, where was that? Was that? Yeah. But she can go out in the back. Yep. If you're part of the membership, those of you that aren't feeling well, I hope you get feeling better by tomorrow. So I'm really excited about tomorrow's workshop activity. And it is totally different. It is not collaging. So even though there's a little video in there if you've watched it. And I said you need a 3-inch template. You're going to go, oh, we're doing the same thing. Nope, we're not doing the same thing at all. It's just so happened. And actually, that one was planned and scheduled first before this one was planned. But then I thought this would be a really great place to start with this while doing that series of ways to create paper. And a lot of the ways, you know, if you gel print or you paint paper, and sometimes you have one that you're like, this didn't turn out all that great, or it's kind of boring, or it's a roll-off piece, but it needs something, whatever. Some of these techniques are going to be ones that you can quickly turn that so paper into something really cool.
Fun.
Yeah. And a lot of them you probably already know, maybe have even used, maybe forgot about. Like the first one was crayon resist. And because I wanted to keep it short and sweet, I didn't even go into all the different things that you can do with crayon resist, but I did manage to hit several so that if you haven't done it before, at least you get the idea and you can start to play with that and get curious as to what other things you might be able to do. Tomorrow it is at noon, same time, so 11, 12, 1, or 2, depending on your time zone. And that event is in YouTube already. It's only able to be seen by members. So Melanie, if you go in there, the video in there telling you what you need to have on hand, you know, prepared to do it. And I think there's another message in there as well. And if you go look under, which one of these did I have? Did I have that one? I dropped it and didn't see which way to flip. Is that the only one? Probably is. Yeah, you'll be able to, and you can set a notification on it, but when it comes time for it, it will be live, but only those who are part of the membership will be able to see it. So even though it's on YouTube, it is not a public video. And I'm doing that on YouTube so that everybody can be there, everybody can access it. Kind of sort of thinking about doing it on Zoom in the future and maybe sending Zoom to YouTube so people could be on YouTube if they wanted. But also those who wanted to be in Zoom could be in Zoom and can type in questions. You can type in questions in YouTube as well.
Zoom would be fun just to try another format.
Yeah, and it's fun because you can see, you know, we can, I think we have maybe about 50 members. I don't imagine everybody will be able to be there to every workshop in person. So it's fun to be able to see some of the things other people are doing as well. I mean, and the more it grows, the harder that is to do, but also could have a couple of you on YouTube, on StreamYard with me here, so others can see what you're doing as we progress through it. All right. I didn't glue them in order, so now I have to look and see which ones are glued down and which ones aren't. So, you know, you look at this and you start thinking, after these are all down, do you want to go back and doodle on a little bit on each one or some of them? Do you want to take a Stabilo pencil and outline them and give them that little bit of frame? Maybe get it wet then and, you know, get the Stabilo effect. You know, it's your piece of art. You can do anything you want to it.
Damp on them.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. All right, so you have about 2 minutes left if you have not yet done the super chat and you want to get in the drawing today for the prize pack. I think maybe that one I didn't have down there. Where did I have it? Probably up here. Well, good thing glue dries clear. About 2 minutes, and then we'll get our wheel of names going. Yes, Melanie, you will be able to. I'm sorry you won't be able to be there. It is so hard to coordinate it with everybody's schedule. It will be a replay. Only members will be able to see it, but you will be able to watch the replay. Absolutely. And then members can post in the Facebook group after we do it. Yeah, Margie getting old socks, huh? Carrie and I were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Truly.
Yeah. Yeah, but and I know that there's different platforms you have to use to be able to do different things, and might be able to Zoom to YouTube so that, although, you know, I don't need to purchase another platform or even learn a whole nother one besides StreamYard, but in order to be able to do that. All right, so there's my, I love that you're doing a craft or tan one. Okay, so there's my collage of collages. Each one of these little 2-inch things is a collage, and collectively they make a collage. So, you know, sometimes you want to just sit down and do something and you don't know what to do, or you don't feel up to doing a great big project, or you don't want to start a whole big project, or you know you don't have time to do a big project. Something like this, if I could just pull out warm scraps or cool scraps, not have to spend the first hour looking through all the scraps. So,
I made a mistake.
uh-oh.
This is 2 medium values, this one right here.
No,
I didn't notice it until I looked through the camera at my monitor.
Isn't it interesting though, as you've done those and you have 2 different values on every, that your eye went straight to that one and went, oh, I don't have contrasting values.
Whoops.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Okay,
so you can glue a piece of paper over one of them one side.
Yep.
It's all paper, glue something over it. Absolutely. Oh, Melanie, that's awesome. 6-week pastel class. Is that stick pastels, pan pastels, oil pastels, chalk pastels, or everything? I love that. That's one of the things that I am researching and watching and learning from others, because I don't know anything about pastels, and I have them and I want to. I want to play. I want to learn. I want to practice. So I'm learning about those as well. So excited for that. You can come on live with us and help us learn about pastels.
Ooh, I would love to.
It is awesome. Yeah, I know Carrie wants to do pastels as well. All right, I have Glennis, Margie, and Carrie in the drawing for the wheel of names for the prize pack today. Is there anybody else that you saw that I missed? Let's see. I am typing left-handed. That's fun. All right. As far as you can see, is that everybody? I didn't miss anybody. Glennis, Margie, and Carrie. Okay, so let's copy.
Yep, just the 3.
Okay. Get them in multiple times. So I was hoping to get I might get one more video recorded this week. We've got the membership workshop tomorrow, and then Friday we're driving to Reno for a funeral. So it's a little bit of a short week. Let's see, I want to add my screen. I want the wheel of names. It'll be winter Carrie. So it says. Margie, you're already in there, but I'll tell you what, if it lands on you, I'll just spin again. How's that? That'd be easier than me trying to take you out at this point because my right arm's not functioning so well. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and spin it. It's already up on YouTube. I'm going to watch YouTube so I don't shout it out before you see it. And if it's Margie, I will just hit spin again.
Oh my.
It is winner Carrie. Winner Carrie.
Thank you.
Winner chicken dinner. Awesome. Oh, I'm excited. It's fun to pack some different, try to get different ones every time for you.
It is fun to.
Oops. I tried to remove the wheel of names and I accidentally removed you.
That's okay.
You said it is fun to.
It is fun to receive those and see what's in them and think of ways to use them.
Cool. All right. So we are going to go ahead and end with that. Remember to be curious. Stay curious about everything. Don't forget about tomorrow's workshop if you're in the membership. And if you haven't seen the new video on creating collage paper, watch for that series. That is number 1. And so it's in the title that it's number 1 in that series so that you can watch for 2, 3, 25, 35, however many we get in that. And I'll be asking admin for their ideas as I get to the end of my list. I've got a huge list of different ways to make collage paper because I know they've got ideas as well. And oh, Sarah, it is fun to get. I opened my boxes from the sale and wow, your boxes were packed pretty well. We got a lot of stuff in those boxes from that sale. That was really pretty awesome. Bye, Margie. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. We appreciate it. Love to see you all. And don't forget to post in the group. And until we see you next time, stay